Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Suzanne, and today I'm talking about how I preserve my glut of tomatoes. Specifically, I want to talk about dehydrating them. So I've already been preparing a lot of my tomatoes for the freezer, and if you saw my previous video, you'll have seen how I've been saving seed. And that's what these ones here are, which if you've got larger tomatoes and you want to speed up dehydrating, taking out the seed just speeds that up a little bit. Now my dehydrator is a BioChef Savannah, and it comes with either 6, 9 or 12 of these trays, which I seriously like because I had a different dehydrator to this. And whilst I'm all about buying within your budget, sometimes it's not cost effective to buy something that's cheaper. I know there's a lot of good round stackables on the market, but the stackable that I bought just was no good whatsoever. It was a really odd shape, and the trays were not like this. They were plastic with diamond shaped holes in, and they were much bigger than this. And then there were only 2 smaller sheets. So this comes with inserts like this for if you want to do chopped things, but it also comes with silicone sheets like this, and I'll show you what I've used mine for in a moment. It's really important that the company you're buying from sells the sheets separately, or that you can at least get hold of something that is adequate to do more of these on, because sometimes you're dehydrating products that need extra support. And what I found with the stackable unit that I had was that I was losing product because it wasn't drying properly. You were having to continuously rotate your trays to even get it to try and dry, and I couldn't dry. So I was losing a lot of product with the model that I had because it wasn't drying correctly. I didn't have enough of the inserts to allow the machine to dry correctly, and also I was having to constantly change around the trays, which you have to do on those anyway, because the model, those machines send the air up through the middle and circulate that way. But what I found was that even with just tomatoes, the produce was just moulding. It was taking far too long. So I decided to replace it. So after doing a lot of research and looking at models that they were using a lot in America, I decided on this Savannah unit, and I have to say that I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I really do like the job that it does. And one of the reasons that I do like it as well is this little button here, because you've got the temperature here, and of course because I watch a lot of American channels, they work in Fahrenheit, but of course here in the UK we work in Celsius. But what this little button does here is it automatically changes the temperature for me between Celsius and Fahrenheit, so it doesn't really matter, I can work in both. The other thing that's amazing for me with this machine is that I can just set the temperature, set the time and go and leave it. And the reason that that's good for me is because I have memory issues. I've mentioned before that I have chronic ill health, and part of that is that I just forget to do things. My oven is right at the side, just here, and it's electric, and my problem with that is that on the lowest setting, even though there's a little light there, I can walk away from that and leave my oven on. I'm an absolute hazard. So this is something that, you know, with a bit of help, preparing things, I can actually get this done and walk away. So going back to these tomatoes, once you've sliced them, cherry tomatoes are really, really simple. Wash them, slice them, place them on here. Now, if you want to salt them, you can. If you want to put herbs on them, you can. I've done mine plain, basically because when I finish these, I'm going to blitz mine and create powder. Now, once they're finished, you do have to process this a bit more. You've got to finish it off. So for a couple of days, you're just going to put it in and shake it. Although I picked up a tip from Darcy at the Purposeful Pantry. I'll leave a link to her channel below, because she saved me from losing my product. What I do is put it on a baking sheet on parchment paper and put it on the lowest setting in the oven, and just keep turning it to get any excess moisture out, and then put it in here. And for a few days you want to keep just shaking it and checking it, making sure that, don't put your silicone, those little white sachets in there are silicone packages to absorb any moisture that is in there. But don't put those in straight away, because they might give you the illusion that this is completely and utterly dry when it isn't. So you're checking for moisture, for clumping, for any moulding, and you want to do that for about a week. So you know, Darcy has some amazing information about dehydrating and preserving, so go check her out. Now, the other thing that I'm doing, I said I'd show you this silicone mat. So here I've got the silicone mat and I've got it laid. I've turned the tray so that it's laid in there. It can't actually slide off the top of it. And these little tomatoes I've got here, they're almost between a cherry and a saladette tomato. But this is the new Brad Gates variety for 2023. It's called Golden Hour, and it's just like a mini beefsteak. It's gorgeous, and it's got that sort of consistency as well. So I've really liked these, but I want to have a go at dehydrating them. The problem is, if I just cut that in half, it's too thick. It would take absolutely forever. But the other problem is, if I just slice it, then these trays are ridged, and I know that they'll stick, and I don't want that, and also it'll make it a nightmare to clean, and I don't want to use a scourer on these. So that's where these come in, because I can just peel them off. So all I've done is slice them like that, and then these will probably take just a little bit longer because they're on this silicone mat, but that's fine. I don't mind that. And they're also going to go in the bottom as well, so that they're not blocking the heat from travelling up and down, because this machine that I've got, it's got a dual fan at the back, so it circulates the heat through anyway. But of course I don't want to block the heat going up between the trays. So all I have to do is slice these. Now, some people will slice them that way, but I slice them, you know, downwards. Sorry, I've been up, my body is so annoying. I'm an insomniac anyway, but I suffer with chronic fatigue because of my illnesses. And then my son calls me a chicken, because he's like, when the sun's up, you're up. And although at the moment, you know, the sun isn't up until late morning, but even so, my body still thinks we're on perfect summertime, and so I've been awake since 4:30. So I'm sorry, because I was criticised in a comment that the way I speak is boring and what have you, but I do apologise. I find this extremely awkward, speaking on camera, and I am qualified to lecture, and I've been teaching for decades, but this is a whole new process and way of doing things for me. And as I already mentioned, I have brain and spinal cord issues, and so I'm on a whole new learning curve, and I'm not as eloquent as I used to be. And you know, and unless I keep practicing, I'm not going to do better. So, you know, I appreciate anybody that's still watching, bearing with me, keep coming back to watch my videos, and you know, I appreciate everybody that's here. But I'm just trying, you know. So I'm just doing one tray of these at a time, and I'm going to see how they go. I suspect I won't actually be doing these for the powder. I don't think these are going to dry as much as I'd like without it taking an awful long time, but I want to see how they go. I've got a lot more of them, and if they dry nicely, I'm hoping these might be a little bit more like sun-dried tomatoes. So anyway, I'm going to crack on and get these done. But I hope you do find something interesting out of this, and if you do, I hope you'll like, subscribe and share, because that does help the algorithms and it does help the productivity of the channel. So thank you very much for being with me, and I hope to see you again. Bye for now.